This whole damn weekend is brought to you by Bang.
Huh?
Hi again, Seeking Vegas Sunrise here with another cooking vlog here on Christmas Eve.
So tonight we're making Chicago food. Anthony's actually originally from Chicago, so we're making Italian beef and pizza puffs that we actually found locally. Now, if you don't know what a pizza puff is, it's like a Pop-Tart or a toaster strudel with pizza in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's fried and it's amazing.
It's a Midwest thing for sure.
Hope you enjoy.
All right.
So our dinner tonight comes from Tastes of Chicago online. You can order deep dish pizzas, Chicago Italian beef, hot dogs, cookies, steaks, all kinds of different Chicago foods. So this is actually from Portillo's. So Portillo's is big in the Midwest. There's also some locations in California. But everything comes frozen. So the best way to cook this Italian beef is actually in the Instant Pot. It cooks really quickly. It comes out really good consistency, and it's super easy. Okay, so first we had to run some warm water over the bottom of the plastic container just to loosen up the Italian beef because it is still frozen. The great thing about the Instant Pot is you can make anything frozen. So first we're going to spray the inside of our Instant Pot. Then we're going to add a cup of water. You always need a cup of water so that it can come to pressure. Then we're going to dump our Italian beef into the Instant Pot. So you can see it's one solid piece right now. So with the Italian beef kit, we have the au jus sauce, which comes in that plastic container. We also have beef from Portillo's, so it's shaved beef, thinly sliced. And then we have a packet of green peppers. So we're going to add all of this into the Instant Pot. A general rule of thumb with adjusting any kind of recipe to an Instant Pot is generally you just cut the cooking time in half. So if we look at our container, it says to cook the Italian beef for approximately 9 to 12 minutes. So we'll just do 6 minutes in the Instant Pot and it should be good to go. And now for a bang break.
We've become addicted to this stuff, by the way.
We might have a problem.
We ordered a case of it. And
birthday cake bash.
We have 16 of these bad boys now. I went from not drinking these for the past 36 years to all of a sudden having a fridge full of them.
Yes. So expect lots of content because we'll have plenty of energy.
Yes.
Next we're going to make our pizza puffs. We're going to deep fry them in canola oil. Just on top of the stove just to keep things easy. So we want it deep enough that the pizza puffs would be covered. Not so deep that it causes a fire. So the best way to check and make sure your oil is ready is to grab a little bit of water on your fingers and kind of flick it into the pot and see if it bubbles. So it looks like it's good to go. So we're going to drop 2 of our pizza puffs in to start. We're going to use our splatter guard for safety. Alright, so now we just need to flip them over so we can get the other side going. Alright, so these look like they are about done. We're going to take them out before they overcook.
all jacked up on that bang.
So we're going to stick the rolls in the oven for 5 minutes at 450.
Five minutes later.
Alright, our last step is to assemble our Italian beefs. So we've got our completed warmed up rolls, and then we've got some Italian beef. It's very hot. Get some peppers on there. And then final step, gotta have our jardiniere. Alright, and we'll show you what the inside of a pizza puff looks like. Again, it's like the toaster strudel of pizza. We're back on day 2 of our Christmas cooking weekend, continuing with our theme of Chicago food. So for today, we are making a deep dish Chicago pizza and sharing our recipe with you. And we have a very special announcement for Christmas.
I did win a major award recently. Pretty nice. No offense to Gambling Granny or Dice, by the way. It's just, it's a love-hate relationship.
Go Bears.
Go Bears.
We are back with another recipe on Christmas Day. Today we're making Chicago deep dish pizza. So when we moved from the Chicago area to Colorado, it was really important to be able to learn how to make pizza. So made sure that I did that. I found a really good recipe. It's actually kind of, the base is a cooking light recipe, but I've actually modified it so it's not quite so light. But still a great recipe. So we're gonna start off by making the dough. So we've got 1 cup of warm water, and we need to dissolve 1 yeast packet. So just a third of those, you get 3 in a package. So we're going to dissolve that into the warm water along with 2 teaspoons of sugar. And we're going to let that sit for 5 minutes.
Five minutes later.
All right, our next step is to mix in 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And as you can see, our yeast activated. so we're going to start with 2.5 cups of flour. Two and a half. And then we're going to add 1/4 cup of cornmeal. And let's see. Half a teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to add in our yeast mixture. Turn that on starting with low, and then we'll gradually increase the speed. Alright, so next we're going to spray a bowl. And make sure it's all incorporated into one ball. Alright, so now we're going to let our pizza dough rest. I'm going to cover it. I like to let it sit on the stove. It's a little warmer there. We're going to let it rest for about 45 minutes or until it's doubled in size. Next step is to make our homemade sauce. So we start with San Marzano tomatoes. Just use the canned. Open those. We're going to pour these into a colander and just let them drain for quite a while. And to that, we're going to add some fresh garlic, some fresh basil, and then we've got some dried spices. We've got oregano, more basil, and onion powder and garlic powder, and then we'll add some salt and pepper. You can also add red pepper to it, but I'm trying to avoid heartburn, so. If you have a Midwest boy at home, you know about heartburn, so. Okay, so we're just peeling our garlic. Cut the bottoms off and that sketchy piece. Just going to do a rough chop of the garlic. We're going to add this to our tomatoes. And then we'll add some fresh basil. just going to remove the leaves from the stems. And then we're going to give this a quick rinse. Squeeze out the extra water. And give this a really rough chop too. Normally you'd line up all the leaves, but just going into pizza sauce, so. And then we're going to add our dry spices. So we've got dried basil. Just kind of eyeball it. See, it already looks like Christmas. Our dried oregano. Our garlic powder. Onion powder, salt, and pepper. And we'll give that a good mix. Smash these tomatoes a little bit so they're crushed and we can get a little bit more liquid out. Nobody likes watery tomato sauce or pizza sauce. We'll do one final stir and we'll just let it sit for a while. I usually just do this at the same time as the pizza dough so that it has time to sit and drain and get as much liquid as possible out. And that's it. So our pizza dough's been sitting, our sauce has been sitting, they're all good to go. So next step is to get our toppings ready. So we are going with a Boulder Italian sausage. And I usually get the ground sausage, but if you can't, the links are just fine. You just cut them open and crumble them up. So that's what we're gonna do. So just take a link. Calm down, Andy. Okay, and then just cut it open. Take the outside casing off. And then you actually have ground sausage inside, so you can kind of just break it into little chunks. Put it into the pan and cook it for the pizza. So our next step is to get our deep dish pizza pan ready. So we got this at Bed Bath & Beyond. It's a pretty large pan. You can also get them at tasteofchicago.com. You can get Lou Malnati's pans. So it's just a bigger pan. If you don't have access to a deep dish pizza pan, a round cake pan actually works really well too. So I'm going to butter the pan, because if you're from the Midwest, you know that the crusts are always really buttery. Alright, our next step is going to be to take our pizza dough that's been resting and actually press it into the deep dish pizza pan. First, we're going to have to stretch it out. Make sure there's no holes. If there's holes in the crust, just going to push it back together. So we want to get it close to the edges. And then you're going to just press it up the sides, kind of like if you're making a cheesecake crust. And this dough's pretty forgiving. You don't have to roll it out. Just pressing it right into the pan. Probably do this if you're doing a Detroit style pizza too. See, it kind of fits perfectly. Gonna make it even, push out any edges that are a little thicker, and fill in anything that's a little thinner. The secret to good Chicago style deep dish pizza is a lot of cheese. So we start with sliced mozzarella cheese, and you want to put that directly on your pizza crust. Just kind of line the bottom. So when I'm a little bit overlapping, it's okay if there's a little bit of gaps. There's going to be more cheese. So we've got 2 packages. Because you want to have that nice cheesy layer. Alright, so we've got that pretty well covered. The next step is going to be to put our sauce that's been sitting and draining onto the pizza. It's important to drain it because otherwise you get a watery pizza. You can see a lot of juice came out there. So we're going to put that on top. And we're going to spread it out. And Chicago pizza is kind of famous for the big chunks of tomatoes. Make sure you have your heartburn medicine handy. Yeah, we've got our San Marzano tomatoes. We've got our garlic in there, our basil, our spices from earlier. We're just going to spread that out as much as we can. Then next up is, of course, more cheese. So this time we're going with shredded mozzarella. And we're just going to kind of cover the whole top. Now there is Chicago pizza that has the tomato sauce on top, but we kind of like it when the cheese and toppings are on top instead of the sauce. So it's just a personal preference thing, whatever you like. If you're say hi to Matthew, you just like any pizza, so you know, you might want to try both options. We want to make sure we have a nice good layer. That'll help absorb some of the liquid from the sauce also. And then we've got our sausage that we cooked earlier. And we're just going to kind of put those across the top. Spread them out evenly. And then we've got our green peppers. And then finally, a little bit more cheese, just to hold everything together. So our final step is to put our pizza in the oven. You can see it's all ready to go. It's very heavy. So we put our pizza in for 25 minutes. We'll check it and see if it's done. If it's not quite set in the middle, we'll just cook it for another 5 minutes or so, and then we'll let it cool for 5 more minutes. And it's ready. Oh, perfect.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
I almost forgot to cook the beef.
Oh, funny. No, that's okay. It was dumb, but it was cute. But I want you gotta deal with me first of all.
Yeah, you're no picnic.
First and foremost
no
here.
picnic.
We're still recording.
Oh.